Alright, here we go. It's been a while since we last done one of these wrestling pins. Number 10, wrestling pins number 9 consisted of us doing an Extreme Rules and Fight for a Fallen review. You guys can watch that if you want to. Yeah. I didn't do one for SummerSlam. I'm not gonna do one for NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. Nor am I gonna do one for AEW All Out. Reason being because for that, I have to write a script down for what I'm going to say. I have to write down memorable moments of a match, some particular cool spots, and I need to write that down while the match itself is going on, if it's live and stuff, obviously, as well. For an episode of like NXT UK, or 205 Live, that's easier. It's on the network, I could just rewind, which is probably why I never even actually watch them when they go live. I watch them a full day later in advance, either way, if I'm going to do a review or not. But yeah, so, no more reviews for pay-per-views. That's what I'm trying to say. Just some stuff from it and sum it all up. For example, AEW All Out. We're going to sum up one particular moment here. Jericho wins the AEW World Championship. So now, as you guys can clearly tell from my YouTube channel name that I've been had for the past 2 years. Well, to be fair, it was Y2J Heel Gamer, but then that sounded super fucking nerdy. And so yeah, we're changing it to a whole bunch of random shit I like, as you see right there from the thumbnail that we're gonna have, even with one of my logos. There you go. So we could be doing transitions for these, but then that's gonna take a long ass time to edit. So instead, this is just gonna be a podcast. We should be put on Spotify for these podcasts. I don't know. It would just be like tiny 10 to 20 minute podcasts, but yeah. Anyway, so All Out, of course, was last night, and Jericho wins the AEW World Championship by defeating Hangman Adam Page. So now this is when we head into the territory of people being mad about this, not including the dumbass AEW smarks that kiss up to everything Cody and Brandy do. Not them. They did not count this conversation because obviously none of them hate this decision. If anything, we're talking about the real wrestling fans that have brains. Not like the real wrestling fans like, this ain't real wrestling. Not that type of shit either. That's annoying for both WWE and indie companies as well. The ones who are stuck in the territorial days. Where fucking a person defends their title like twice every year. That type of shit. How do you think Bruno Sammartino held the title for so many years? He barely fucking defended it. Anyway, after that little tiny rant, well then, a bigger rant, so yeah, Jericho and Page, it happens, all that fucking shit, and basically, Jericho wins. So now here's the problem that some of us have here, including me. All the AEW smarks think it's perfectly fine. They're forgetting that one key factor that makes them hate WWE oh so much. Not putting over the young talent. Whether if Finn Balor loses a random matchup on fucking SmackDown, whether if Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy go completely all out on a random episode of SmackDown, and ultimately Murphy ends up losing that matchup, they're gonna say, Murphy's buried, even though they build up a different younger talent in the process. That type of situation. Reason being, if we think back over here, a couple months ago, Money in the Bank, good times. Lesnar wins the Money in the Bank. And it's a shocking moment, it gets the crowd heated up. People go home, unhappy, the grown-ass fat men who live in their mother's basements, they end up crying and fucking ranting about it on Reddit or wherever the fuck. The kids go home crying, the mothers go home disappointed, thinking when was Roman gonna come into the match and win ultimately, because that's what mothers think because of how hot he is, I guess. I don't fucking know, these are all just stereotypes now, and I don't give a shit. So, basically, we have that happen, and then Jericho goes on Twitter, and he says of how, yes, we're definitely putting over young talent by making Lesnar win. Obviously, that was sarcasm. And, the rest is history. Bottom line, he talked shit about Lesnar winning Money in the Bank, which, yes, it doesn't progress or help out any other talent in the long run. If anything, everyone in the matchup looked strong, so that helps out their cases, at least the tiniest a bit. But then obviously, Lesnar goes into the program of Rollins where they redo it, and it ends up going for a couple extra months, whatever. By this point, Rollins is boring. After his style sting, he slowly becomes boring, and then Lesnar becomes entertaining. Boombox Brock was pretty good. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's like 2003 face Brock Lesnar with all the stuff he did with Angle and stuff like that. You know, it's that type of entertaining Brock that we haven't had in a long time. Besides the ass kicker Brock Lesnar, which is always good, we had the entertaining, while also being an ass kicker simultaneously, Brock Lesnar for Boombox Brock, and it was good for the tiny run it had. So basically here, what I'm trying to say is that obviously the AEW smarks will kiss up to anything AEW does, no matter if it's, corny as well. For example, they do some corny shit on their Instagram, like they do self-made memes or whatever the hell, or like they do like tiny gifs, like rolling into Sundays, be like whatever, and AEW did that type of thing as well with the best friends, and they did that. They did a whole gif. A whole lot of people said, "Wow, so true," and stuff like that. But then, if they were to do something like that, people would say, "You guys should just stick to producing a crappy and shitty wrestling product instead of trying to create unfunny memes. You guys can't do either." There's always those couple of people that do that shit, and it's annoying. It really is. It really is fucking annoying. Because for anything WWE does, it's bad in their eyes, and for everything AEW does, it's so groundbreaking. Sure, having the fucking Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks face off like the 8th time this fucking year. So groundbreaking. Change the world. It's great. Yeah, all that good stuff. Making Jazz return, which is some people... Let's say if Jazz returned to WWE. If Jazz returned to WWE, and then and then she wins the Raw Women's title, whatever, people will say, what the hell? We should be putting over talent instead of giving an old part-timer or an old-timer in general like Jazz the title, something that she hasn't had in years. But obviously if AEW were to do that, then people will be like, oh, this is groundbreaking. This is amazing. It's such good shit, Vince McMahon quote. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works out for any AEW Smark, to be fair. So anyway, all the AEW Smarks will think that this whole Jericho decision is amazing. So now we're going to quickly go, at least as quick as I can here, into a business type standpoint here. Obviously, it is a very good decision to make Jericho become AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Either way, Adam Page or Jericho actually could have been a good decision, but obviously Jericho is the more better one because he's actually a person who would draw. He probably will draw the most out of anyone in the AEW roster. Don't anyone say Omega and the Bucks could draw a whole fucking lot. Because no. It wasn't until, obviously, Dave Meltzer rated Omega versus Okada 6 stars back in 2016 in New Japan, when it's like everyone in the Bullet Club increasingly became more popular. Obviously, Balor and Styles helped it out a lot as well. But then it's like, at that time, just New Japan in general, we have more fans jumping over to it because of Dave Meltzer's star ratings. And now, a Dave Meltzer rant is just a completely different thing for a completely different video. And that would be like a whole damn hour. It would be like that 4-hour completion of Jim Cornette burying Vince Russo. But yeah, Jericho winning is a great business decision. It draws in more fans for AEW. It's a very smart business decision on their part. But then we have the fans here, who, the ones that don't suck up to everything AEW does, they're remembering, including myself, they are slowly but surely remembering the time where Jericho sent out that tweet about Lesnar, and basically Jericho ends up doing the same thing, almost ideally. So now, let's think of it. Now, this is a what-if scenario, which obviously will not happen, but let's just say what-if scenario, alternative universe where Kofi's obviously current WWE champion of SmackDown, and Randy Orton currently has the whole rivalry with Kofi, but let's just pretend Orton's not involved in the rivalry at all. Although if Orton was to win, some people actually want Orton to win, so that's not going to count, because some people will actually be happy about that. Let's add one that will make people really mad. For example, let's say Lesnar, the stupid wildcard rule, like it's 2011 Raw or something like that with that wildcard rule, but yeah, Lesnar defeats Kofi on a random ass episode of SmackDown or whatever. He becomes WWE champion, and that helps out more people tune in to SmackDown on Fox once it goes to Fox in October. So now, this is a great business decision by, of course, Mr. Man, Vincent Kennedy, man, the one who made us watch wrestling in the first place, the one who made us love this in the first place. No one is going to discover wrestling from AEW. Everyone discovers wrestling from WWE, and then obviously progressing to different promotions like I did. If anything, I grew up watching more TNA than WWE, which is weird, but that's how it actually worked out, surprisingly enough. In retrospect, TNA just sucks now, so yeah. But if anything, right? So that obviously the Lesnar thing draws in more people. It draws in older viewers who once watched, and they watch it, be like, oh, what, Lesnar's champion again? You know what? I'll go back to watching and see if it's as good as what he was when he had his whole stuff against Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero. Obviously there's the whole Lesnar thing from 2015 as WWE champion, but we're not gonna count that for the sake of simplicity. So that obviously will draw in more viewers, while, the die-hard fans, the ones that still watch the product, no matter how much they bitch and moan about it, the ones that still watch the product every damn week to still bitch and moan about it, those ones, they're obviously not going to be happy about it. Because ultimately it's like, oh, what? They buried Kofi. How can they do that, Kofi? Even though that is what a whole lot of people's reactions will be to that, believe it or not. Which, I'm pretty sure you guys could all believe it here. That is what their reaction will really be. No matter how strong Kofi can be booked, which he has been booked immensely strong. He's only lost like 1 or 2 matches, non-title and whatnot, on a random episode of Raw against Joe where he got passed out, and the disqualification stuff against Orton, I guess, which Orton wins by disqualification, but Kofi obviously wins the title. That was at SummerSlam, obviously. So we have that type of situation, and Kofi hasn't really lost any matches, if any, really at all, clean. And so people would still say he's buried, even though no matter how, after the 11-year story arc, Kofi finally wins the big one, people would still say Kofi was buried after that moment. Which in reality, he could always just win it back, the redemption angle or whatever. And all is well. However, AEW smarks will think Kofi gets buried, but then when a young up-and-coming person like Adam Page, or not young and up-and-coming, but a younger talent in general, in Adam Page, a younger talent, loses to Jericho, the AEW smarks don't think, like, what? They're not putting over the younger talents? There's not one AEW smark that thinks that. Obviously, any other person that's not an AEW smark that just kisses up to everything that they do and shits on WWE for anything they do, good or bad, even for the good stuff. So, yeah, obviously, they just care about anything that AEW would do and don't give a shit about anything WWE does, obviously. Or at least just complain about it 24/7 is what I'm trying to say here. Even 24/7 title and all that good stuff. So anyway, well, Jericho win was a very good business decision. No one's going to think of it that way. The AEW smarks thinking of it like, oh, either way it's a good decision. Any decision they do is so good. Well, for WWE's decisions, it's more of a business standpoint. So what? They could still listen to the fans. What you want them to do? Bring back Taboo Tuesday / Cyber Sunday? And I'm pretty sure those weren't even real votings, to be fair, but if that makes you better, or that makes it feels better, the fans are in control for one night and one night only. Taboo Tuesday, 2004 to 2005, Cyber Sunday, 2006 to 2010. Good old nostalgia. Grew up with that shit. Well, if anything, I grew up with Cyber Sunday, because by the time Taboo Tuesday came, I was only 1 and 2 years old. But that's besides the point. In retrospect, you get what I'm saying here. So anyway, I feel like this is more of a case of AEW shooting their own selves in the foot as well, as long with Jericho. No matter how much I still love Jericho, but you get the gist here. Not gonna always be biased to my favorite wrestler. A mark doesn't always have to be that. So, anyway, obviously AEW shoots themselves in the foot because they always talk about being an alternative to WWE. We have enough alternatives. And we're talking about alternatives as in the ones that could go head to head with WWE and give them a pretty damn good fight for ratings. AEW is the closest. Ring of Honor is just fucking apparently super shitty now. I don't know. That's what I hear. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in 2 months, to be fair, so that's a little bit on my part, but some people have said it's just gone to shit now. I don't know. Impact. Last time I saw TNA Impact, there was only like fucking 20, 30 people in the crowd. No one gave a shit about their latest pay-per-view, which was like what? Don't tell me. They're bringing back Victory Road, which is good. I grew up with 2008 Victory Road myself, Samoa Joe, and Booker T. Good times, good times. So yeah, they're bringing that back. Not like TJ Perkins is going to draw them ratings. Only reason I'm going to watch for Tessa Blanchard is just because she's probably their best one there. And also because she has a nice ass, but that's besides the point. Okay, to be fair, those are actually two of the points, to be fair. Anyway, moving on here. Retracking back to what I was just saying, actually. And that is, well, AEW thinks that anything that they do, is so groundbreaking, or at least the fans, the smarks think. Anything AEW does is so groundbreaking, so edgy. Even though once they get a TV deal, we can't have Jimmy Havoc just blading like Ric Flair or whatever. That was just a random example, to be fair, but you get the gist. I love Jimmy Havoc, though. Don't get me wrong. It was just an example. And yes, Jimmy Havoc, Progress Wrestling days, not the AEW days. I don't jump on bandwagons like that. Yeah, but if AEW was to do something corny, if they was to do a very comedic spot, either way, or do something like funny on Instagram, do their own meme, do their own GIF, pretty sure it's GIF, where they do their own GIF, like heading into Saturdays be like, or heading into the weekends be like, and they show the best friends dancing or doing the entrance, which did actually happen a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago at this point. Everyone in the comment section, the AEW Marks, they ate it up. They was like, so true, this is what makes you so much better than WWE. You guys are fun and interactive compared to them. Which is not true at all. WWE does the, voting stuff, which person you think has the best finisher or whatever. It's very minor, but, it gets them involved on social media and all that good stuff. Obviously, because WWE also does stuff like that, where they create their own memes, and then we also have those assholes who have to just, even in a non-related to storyline note or anything in the current product, they say, this right here is why AEW is going to kick your ass. This is why you guys are going to be bankrupt within a year. Which, not going to lie, I predicted that for TNA in 2015. Didn't happen. I wonder why. So, yeah, but then either way, they just complain about the product in general, even for something that's not even related to it. Though they create a random meme. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's actually pretty unfunny, have to admit that. But it's people can say, you guys should just stop focusing on creating shitty memes and go back to producing wrestling, since that's what you are. But go back to producing shitty wrestling, remember, because I'm the hater. So yeah, it's that type of situation for them, if anything. But at this point, AEW wants to be different from WWE. So now this is my greatest piece of supporting evidence besides just talking shit here in Rant, because this is actually a great supporting piece of evidence here. And that is that AEW wants to be different from WWE. And Cody Rhodes promo versus Goldust, yes, I'm saying Goldust, Dustin Rhodes is too much to really say. Go back with Terry Reynolds or something like that, I don't know. That was a random comment. Yeah. But anyway, and then Cody said he doesn't want to kill his brother. He wants to kill the Attitude Era. But then here's the thing, though. The Attitude Era is what's getting you the most money. The ruthless aggression in the Attitude Era is what's getting you the most money. Yeah, the most money. You have Awesome Kong, who was super good in TNA and her time there. You have Jericho, who's your champion. You have Goldust himself, who easily could actually draw a little bit more than some of the other people in the roster could. Obviously not as much as Omega or the Bucks by this point, but still draw more than fucking Kip Sabian or whatever. So, killing the Attitude Era, or killing WWE in general, is not going to be pretty easy, especially since your supporting cast here is the WWE. You have a WWE legend who has a Hall of Fame worthy career in Chris Jericho. A person who's gonna be in the WWE and AEW Hall of Fame, seeing how long AEW goes on for. He's gonna end up being in both of them either way. And you have him as your champion, so you can't necessarily be talking shit of how you're different from AEW. Or how you're different from WWE, I mean. When you're almost the exact same thing, just only thing, with a fucking biased-ass fan base who just kiss up to you for any fucking reason just because they think Vince is old and has lost his touch, and now that NXT's going to USA, we still have some of those fucking people who think NXT's gonna be run by Vince. But guess fucking what? Triple H still owns it, and Dave Meltzer don't know fucking shit about shit. Meltzer fucking rates any match in Tokyo Game Dome 7 stars just because, it's so great comeback spots, great high spots. Yeah, if they were to fucking do that, people would say it's repetitive. That's almost every fucking indie match, though. But you don't fucking see me complain about it all that much, besides for this one moment to support my damn argument. So as you guys can get the gist here, this is mostly why some fans, including myself, the non-AEW smarks, the ones who actually fucking have a fucking brain, this is why we don't necessarily agree with Jericho being champion. Not because of this whole booking decision. Well, almost. Kind of. Because of AEW itself. But it's mostly the fans. It's mostly the AEW smarks that ruined it for us. It's mostly them that ruin it. And they act like if WWE were to do something like this, it's so shitty. But if AEW does this, it's amazing. Which-wise, business standpoint, it's great. It's great. Great business decision, Cody Rhodes. Kudos to you. Good shit. But then fans-wise, thinking of it not from business, but from storyline and how they want it to happen. It's like, oh, everything AEW is great. Anything WWE does is shitty. It's lackluster. This is why AEW is gonna kick your ass. We shall see. Because if they start as hot as WCW do, if they, beat them in the ratings for, 84 weeks over there, like what WCW did. I think it's 84, 82? Whatever. I listened to the Eric Bischoff podcast. It has the name in it. I should remember this shit. But whatever, you get the gist. You get it. If AEW does as good as WCW did in the very beginning for Nitro and the Hogan thing, then it's good. Congratulations. We will never hear the end of it, but congratulations. However, will they actually throw the WWE out of business? No. Will they make the WWE be as shitty as TNA Impact? No. With that being said, that's the end of it. You guys kind of get it. The Jericho decision, great on AEW's part. It's the fans that ruin it. It's the smarks. No, it's not the fans. It's the smarks that ruin it all and are all hypocrites for every supporting situation in this whole thing that I just said. So there you go. That was Wrestling Pins number 10. This was a whole rant. Yes, you guys just listened to a whole 14-year-old rant about wrestling for 20 minutes. I know. You're welcome, I think. I don't know. My channel's basically dead, so I don't know how many of you guys are going to watch this. If some of you guys watch this, well, then share it with the AEW Smark that If you are an AEW Smark, well then, hi. I am a non-AEW Smark. I support both wrestling companies, but sometimes that one particular fan base for that one particular wrestling company is just complete cancer and makes me want to stop watching that one wrestling company. So, hi. Thank you for watching. You guys can click on one of the other playlists here. Man Mobile. Journey of Wrestling, where a 14-year-old books the 1998 ad to there. Yeah, I know a couple of shit about wrestling. Besides the fact that I can't remember all the light heavyweights, but I still book it. That's good. So yeah, by this point the playlist will have showed up. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. Catch you on the next video. And goodbye.